Well, I want to emphasize that these Parazappers are not only made in the USA, but they're also made in rebel country, Alabama to be specific. And I just put these stickers on there myself, but kind of like them. I actually have 4 of these damn things. The other one I'm not showing here is the Parazapper 6-pack, which actually is a damn good unit. It runs a Clark mode in the 30,000 hertz range, the 2500, also a Clark mode in the 2500 hertz range. Does the 15 hertz. It does some around, I think it's like 600, 727, 787, around that range, 800, typical quote-unquote right frequencies, and 10,000 range. I think there's another mode, it's like 6. But I use this one a lot too. This is a CC2. I've been using the hell out of it. And you know what I found too? Now when you set these copper paddles, I like using one tubular and one flat. That's just how I like doing them. And sometimes if I want to just switch where the positive offset side is going, I don't switch these. I just unplug them and switch them up here. I'll put the green on the red side and the red on the green side. That's all. It's the simplest way. Now, one of the beauties of these type of zappers is, besides them being ultra reliable, and you know I did drop these a couple times, they take one battery. And the battery fits in there nice and tight. And I've kind of grown to start using these Tenergy ultra low self-discharge batteries. And I don't know if I got that in there quite right. I'm doing this with one hand. Probably do. And because if I have them in there, see, low self-discharge, nickel metal hydride batteries. Using nickel metal hydride have a lot of capacity, but they discharge pretty quick. These will hold, I think, 80% capacity after a year. So if I got these in there, and I grab a different zapper to use, it'll work because the battery is going to be good. Now, contrast that with these. This isn't a bad one too. This is not a Parazapper. This is a Beck style zapper, typical Beck style zapper. This is a 4 hertz unit. It's got the colloidal silver unit maker on the one side, which is just freaking 36 volts. That's all that is, man. It's nothing special about it. And it's got the Beck zapper thing on that side, and you flip it that way. That's plug it in, that light goes out. But this requires 3 batteries, and you got to unscrew it each time. Take 4 screws out every time you use it. Now, I was talking about on another video yesterday about the transfection effect of the Beck zapper in 4 hertz. Now, actually, you get a better transfection effect at 1 hertz. That's the optimal thing. Now, the problem is that I don't know, because, you know, I'm one guy, okay? I mean, I can't be freaking testing dozens of people here. But that chart I had with the transfection effect, where the most transfection occurs at 1 hertz, is for AC current. Does it work for DC current with 100% positive offset? I don't know. Is it dependent upon, I think the more voltage you got, the more your transfection effect you got. This will put out about 30 volts. This will put about, 9.5, 10. So I don't know. But I do know this. On his newer units, this is a My Plus. And he's got a My Plus 2. I think he's putting out the My Plus 3 now. There's a mode for 3.9 hertz, which is half the Schumann Earth frequency, or actually 3.915. He's got it down there real accurate. Also 4 hertz and also 1 hertz. So he's got a mode in there for 1 hertz. Now, does that give you the transfection effect when you're using 1 hertz with about 10 volts or so positive offset DC voltage? I don't know. Because, I got to be telling you, honestly, that chart says AC voltage, and it's a higher voltage. So I'm not 100% sure, but it might be. So you might be able to get the transfection effect with using a Parazapper My Plus 3 using a 1 hertz. Now, if you go strictly by that, the reason I'm talking about that, what I was talking about in that video with the transfection effect, was that the transfection effect is that the blood cells are temporarily more open and susceptible to absorbing whatever you consume in your body. So that's a good thing when you're consuming good stuff. So say you're taking you got a juicer and you put a bunch of organic vegetables in there, you juice them and you drink that. Well, the transfection effect from using some of these electronic devices at the right frequency and the really low frequencies from 1 to 4 hertz is going to cause those nutrients to get uploaded into cells a lot faster. It could be a bad thing if you take a shot of whiskey or you're smoking cigarettes or you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing and you do this transfection effect. You're using that transfection effect is going to be a force multiplier for anything bad you're doing. So that may be also another reason why these Zapper testimonials are all over the freaking chart. Sometimes they work, and I don't think the people are lying. I mean, sometimes maybe you got some garbage in there too, but for the most part, I think people are being honest with their testimonies. What's going on, I think, is not just only that the frequency is killing microbes, but it's also, that transfection effect may have something else to do with it. But, this thing might have that transfection effect because it's got the 4 hertz, the 3.9 hertz, and a 1 hertz, but it's not AC voltage. Now, knowing how things are done in the United States, and especially in the South, and this is coming from Alabama, actually, these devices, there might be a better Beck style zapper out there that can run down to 1 hertz, which will have extreme transfection effect. Who knows? I don't know. But when you set these up, you put you don't run bare copper paddles against your skin. You take a paper towel, you wrap them around here, and you wet the paper towel with saline solution or just tap water. It could be salt water, tap water. And sometimes what I like to do is I take old cotton sock, especially one that's got a color on it, because it doesn't look like it gets discolored when the copper comes off in there. Like a black sock or dark blue sock, a cotton one. And after you wrap this with the paper towel and you wet it, I put the sock over it, and then I wrap, I put the whole thing in some salt water or tap water, and it holds a lot more water and it stays a lot more wet. It stays wetter a lot longer, and then you don't have to be changing around and doing things different with that. In other words, keep wetting these electrodes, because I use this extensively, and I can tell you, no problems, no cracks in the plastic here or nothing. All the units are working great. I can turn them on. See, these little lights in there going. That's your My Plus. Yeah, I think that's 3.9 hertz. I got it set up like in the beginning. I like those. There's 4 hertz. I'm hitting the changer button here. That's 15 hertz or 15.3 hertz, I think it is. It's double the Schumann Earth frequency. And here's your 1 hertz. See that? Beep, beep, beep. See, I'm kind of curious if that'll have the transfection effect. You got this puppy here. This one, everything works. This one always starts. These you can program to start anywhere you want. This one always starts on mode 1. I usually run this one on the clock frequency in the 30,000 range, because you don't feel it. You don't feel the frequency. And sometimes it's good, if you say, I like running these overnight when you're sleeping. I don't like feeling that frequency. I don't like frequency coming on and going bzzz, wakes you up or some shit. So sometimes I usually like running this one here. You don't feel the first one too much. You don't feel the 5th mode and the 6th mode much. Actually, I probably use this one the most. But I use the 6-pack one a lot. But the 6-pack one is pretty much very similar to this one. So it's just like 6 and 1/2 dozen or another. This one is very similar to this one. It's just a newer model. So I wound up using this one a hell of a lot more than this one. So I mainly use this one the most, and this one the second most. And I usually use this one on that 3.9 hertz, 4 hertz, or 1 hertz. And I'm not sure if the transfection process is working with that, but who the hell knows. But, it may be that, Well, we'll see. We'll see. I think the South has always been coming out the best designs, and these are the best zappers. But there is some elements to the Beck Zapper where it gives you more energy, and I have not tested this one enough with 4 hertz and 3.9 hertz to see if it gives that energy effect like the Beck Zapper. I thought it did, but I'm not 100% sure. Like when I was using the Beck style Zapper, and I knew it gave me a lot more energy, was when I was using it probably at least 12 hours a day. And the reason I knew it gave me more energy, because I'd be out here, you know, mowing a lawn and doing all this shit out here, and working out for 3 hours at the gym. Or actually I was working out at home. That's what I was doing at that time. And I was using an elliptical machine while I was zapping. That's how I made sure I got 12 hours of zapping in. I slept with the thing on, and I used it for 3 hours when I was working out, plus maybe another couple hours here or there, and that added up to, you know, over 12 hours easy, right? That's how I did it. It's pretty difficult to figure out how to freaking allocate your time to zap. You know, you want to do it at night, actually, while you're sleeping or some shit. So, but these are really good units, and I think I consider these a survival device. When I had a cold and I had a sore throat, and even one time I had an infected tooth, I put this. Actually, when I had an infected tooth, I used this side, and I plugged this green wire into the red side, and I used this as the positive offset, and I was sleeping with this thing, you know, with the paper towel on it and the cloth over it, and I was sleeping with it right on the side where the infected tooth was. Woke up the next day, totally gone. Totally gone. You know, if you got like a sore throat, that's where sometimes this might come in handy, or this side. I always like having 2 different sizes, because you can always switch them around. Even though this is the red colored wire, you can plug it in the green side and use that as the ground. It's the side that you got plugged in here where the positive offset comes out. That's the side that's really killing the microbes. Now, it'd be amazing if you can put that positive offset throughout the whole body. And I guess you could freaking put like Parazapper has a chart where he shows you can put one on, you can have 3 positive, you can have this branched out into 3 things, you know, 2 on the feet, 1 on one hand, and then your ground is on your other hand. Problem is you can't freaking do nothing while it's like that, man. Unless maybe you strap it to your ankle or some shit or something, your 2 ankles, and use your wrist. You can't freaking you can't use 3 positive electrodes with 1 ground and do anything. So I found that, you know, sometimes I'll even set these up even with the TENS pads, and you know that works too. So as far as that, you know, being useful, yeah, that works out, because you can actually do stuff while you're zapping, and that's the biggest problem. Now, the reason I don't like contact mode with the spooky device is you got, I mean, yeah, you can even choose the generator by itself, but the generator isn't made to be carried around. It's got to be plugged into electric, and if you drop that generator, it's probably going to break. You know, if you drop, I dropped these before by accident. I mean, sometimes they slid off the table and they hit the ground, hard floor, nothing happened to them. To be fair, I might have dropped this before, but one of these I dropped and it cracked the case. I just put some I put a Gorilla Tape on it. It still worked though. So all of them seem to work pretty good. But you know, made in the CSA, some good stuff, and they've been ultra reliable, man. To me, I consider this a survival tool right here. That there. A lot of people don't consider it that way, but that's how I consider it. You know, it might be, you know, if you had to really knock out something in your whole body, I guess the 3 points positive, 1 part ground might be the best way, but I don't know how you'd set that up, maybe on your ankles and the wrist versus the bottom of the feet and the hands, because, you know, how the hell are you going to freaking do anything when you got that damn thing set up? I don't know, it might, I don't think it would cure anything per se, but it might be enough to put you over the edge where your body can fight off the rest of it. Because when you look at these things do work in a bucket of microbe water. You put a bucket of water in there, it's all green with algae and freaking bacteria and stuff like that. You zap that water, it's done. Now the body's mostly water, but you can't extrapolate, exactly from a bucket of water to the body, but you can a little bit. And that my little bit might be exactly what you need. So I consider these survival tools, and I'm going to find out later if the transfection works with that one too. But I don't know. I'm not sure. It might. It's got the right frequency, but I'm not sure if that'll work. I'm not 100% sure if it's got enough voltage, because that transfection chart is at a higher voltage and AC voltage. So ideally, if you want to have a whole lot of transfection going on to your advantage, say like you're taking you're drinking organic juices and stuff and vegetable juices, and you're eating the best foods in the world, and so you want those nutrients to get in your super absorbed in your body, I guess ideally would be a 1 hertz zapper that put out AC voltage at around 30 volts, sort of like the Beck thing, except 1 hertz. But then if you smoke a cigarette and drink coffee with that shit, it's going to knock you on your ass. So, you got to be using this shit kind of careful. In this case, with these, I've never seen any kind of effect where it screwed you up. I've used the hell out of them, so they seem damn good.